Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Darlene. And this is Darlene from Why the Physically Abusive Narcissist Hits You in the Mouth. So this is a follow-up. And here's her story. Hi, Ollie. I just made a donation and also have a story in the queue. That was the last one. My name is Darlene, and I asked in the previous email if it was possible to outsmart the narcissist. God, do I wish it was possible, because I have so much anger and there is nowhere to put it. Since I posed that question, I went to see my father, who asked me to drive 300 miles to get the things of my deceased mother wanted me to have, and to pick up all the stained glass lamps I had made for her. I was told to do this ASAP because he was selling the house and the closing was imminent. He was under contract to buy a house for my sister worth twice the value of the house he's selling. He would live with my sister happily ever after. Yikes, my sister has gone through wealthy men until there was no more for her to get from them. Her sexual equity is diminished because she is in her late 50s, but I have to give her credit that the plastic surgeries and fitness have kept her in good shape. Needless to say, she isn't a trophy anymore, and my father is her new sugar daddy. Ugh. Ugh is right. Ugh is right. It's amazing the similarities, how these stories and my own, they're all intertwined. Like, oh. These old men, I mean, I imagine he's in his 70s like my father. They want somebody to take care of them. These narc old baby boomer men. Getting back to the trip to Maine to pick up the things my father wanted me to have. My adult son came with me because it was obvious from previous visits that it really isn't safe for me to be with Dad and Dee. I didn't see Dee, but her malignancy was very present. I have no idea how it happened, but once there and unplugging the lamps, my father went into a horrible rage because he was setting you up, Darlene, just to be there. They draw you in so they can fucking attack you in an enclosed area. I'm glad your son was there. My son had never seen this in his grandfather, but he knows the stories of my abuses at his hand while growing up. My son, 21 years old, just froze. I was on my own listening to how I was crazy, that I must be on drugs and was destroying his house. When I started to cry and tell him he asked me to do this, his rage increased. He started tapping me with his phone. My son then jumped into action and got my art out of the house and into my car. I was accused of stealing items of high value that 2 weeks prior to this, he called to tell me about the loss and said I was the only person he knew didn't rip him off because I hadn't been in the house since the last time he saw the valuable jewelry and coins. He was contorted in rage and said he knew for a fact I was the perpetrator. I went in defending myself, and I know this is worst thing to do with the narc. Yeah, you should have just walked out. Okay? Should have just walked out. He needed to project this onto you, the scapegoat. Okay? Your sister took that shit. Your sister took that shit. I promise you your sister took that shit. And now he's projecting it onto you as the fucking scapegoat. Okay? The black sheep scapegoat to walk away with the shame so he can rationalize himself fucking moving in with her and taking care of her. That's exactly what he's doing. With your history, you shouldn't have never have believed one word that came out of his mouth. All they're doing is they wanted to get you in an enclosed area to fucking attack you so they can put all their shame on you, on the scapegoat, on the black sheep. Why? So he can rationalize with himself. It's why you can go take care of your sister. I guarantee you your sister took that shit. I guarantee you she took that shit. I became the victim of gaslighting, and I should have had a sense to laugh at the absurdity of it. But it hit all the buttons, and I regressed. My mother died calling me a baby killer, and now my father was telling me I was no longer part of his family. It has been almost a year since my mother's death, and I tried to fabricate a relationship with my father. It was like walking on eggshells because my malignant narc sister was hoping for exactly what happened, the death of me and our family. I should have known better, and when I heard one of your videos about the narc hiding behind the narc, that's what my family consisted of. Mom was the out-of-controlling member, the loud, controlling member, and my father was able to hide behind her. I had thought with age he had mellowed, but I was able to forgive him for the physical abuse. I was deluded and hoping for a semblance of a family. I thought if I was careful, I could be around my sister and not give her reason to hurt me. Bullshit. They will always come at you. They will always, always, always come at you. Always. Never trust them. They're little fucking snakes in the grass. I promise you your sister did something with that. Blamed it on you. Your father knew it was your sister. Okay, and they all can just, they don't have to look at it anymore. They put all the shame on the scapegoat, and that's it. And they can go do whatever they want to fucking do in that house. I'm almost 60, and just now the veil has been lifted and I see reality. I'm sure my Swiss sister tweaked up my father prior to my arrival. I didn't say anything negative about the house sale, the new purchase, but I think my sister was afraid I could talk sense into my father, so I had to be killed off. Your sister did this. Told you your sisters did all of this. I have blocked my father and sister along with the flying monkeys. I am now officially no contact. I have to admit it feels completely unnatural, and it hurts to no longer have the cognitive dissonance that kept the fantasy alive. No contact is the last thing I wanted. I wanted to manage them and keep pretending, but all your subscribers out there are still deluded and thinking there is hope. There is no way to come out of a narcissistic family system with peace. Nope. And let me tell you something. Even though you haven't seen that abusive monster that your father was, you thought it was past it, it'll always rear his ugly head again. It'll always come back out in your adult years. They just can't get away with it the way they used to. They have to pick their spots. Just like my father. The narc either wants to use you or kill you. That's the reality of it. I had a mom who used me for decades, then discarded me just before she died. My sister wants the money, so she had to kill me off through my father. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's hard to believe. I'm scared that once my sister gets everything she wants, she will discard my father, just like we have seen her do to numerous men over 3 decades. Of course, she's going to use him up just like everyone else. But because your father is so weak, because your father is such a weak-minded cock, okay, he needs to lie to himself and put all the blame on you, so for the hope that she's going to take care of him and not continue doing what she's been doing to him and other men her whole life, stealing from them. Anything that's missing, being that she's already done this to numerous men over 3 decades, where do you think the shit went in your father's house that's missing? Come on here. Come on here. And your father knows it, but because he's such a weak-minded fucking cuck, because he wasn't even strong enough to reveal himself to who he actually was, that he had to hide behind your mother's chaos, just like my father did. because he was weak. So now that your mother's gone and he doesn't have that shield, now he's vulnerable. So now what he has to do, he has to project and throw all the bullshit that your sister does, that he knows she's doing, onto you for the hope that she takes care of him for the rest of his life. They deserve each other. They deserve each other. He deserves everything he gets now. Everything he gets. Just like my father does. You bring that gypsy bitch into your house. You bring that Irish gypsy bitch into her house with her family. Oh, yeah, because then I brought this up, even though my last video, I said I used to be threatened by gypsies. I actually ended up marrying a gypsy, so whatever. You bring that gypsy bitch into your house, it's going to suck up everything she can for pity. That's what's going to happen to your father. Just sit back and enjoy the show. Just sit back and enjoy the show. My father has seen her behavior, but somehow he's now blinded. He's not blinded. He's weak. The enabler, the covert narcissist, they're never blinded. He's weak. It's not blindness, it's weakness. And he's going to attack you seeming strong because you're the weakest link. Darlene, you're the black sheep. You're the scapegoat. The call will come when my father is broken by D and I am so scared. It is not my nature to turn my back on anyone in need. I'm sure this call will not come for a long time since my father has resources that will keep my sister happy for some time. I hope and pray I can tap into the humiliation that I felt when Dad was tapping me, crying, and trying to get the things he asked me to pick up. The cruelty it took to do that, who my father has always been. He had allowed Narc to hide behind, just like I learned I could coexist through watching your other videos. Ollie, I'm crushed. I feel like a fool and I'm so fucking pissed off. I feel like my whole life has been a lie. Actually, now I know my whole life has been a lie. That's a very hard reality to face. I am questioning everything now and I am trying to stay functioning, but it is hard. Being killed off is so hard. If my story helps anyone avoid the devastation of being discarded and empowers just one person to go no contact before being killed off with extreme cruelty, it is worth the humility of exposing my stupidity and my part of maintaining a false narrative for scraps of love. Thank you to your subscribers and to you for being a touchstone of truth about narcissistic abuse. Peace to you, Charlene, and all your subscribers, Darlene. I mean, you've known your life has been a lie for a long time. Understand your father did this out of weakness, because he's weak. Because he can't take care of himself. Because your father needed another narc to hide behind. The covert narc will just pick a new overt narc to hide behind when the first one dies, and that's what your father did. That's what this was all about. You have to carry your sister's sins away so he can let her try to take care of them. That's pathetic. And you better never let him back into your life, ever. Either one of them. Either one of them. So, I hope that helps. Thank you so much, Darlene, for another contribution and story. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook live chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all this goes away. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been the Narcissistic Resistance.